What up, YouTube? It's your boy Banks. And we back in the building, you feel me? It's True Talks. Cause True Talks, alright? Let's get straight right into it. So you already know, man. Obviously, tonight is draft night. The NBA draft, the 2021 draft. And, you know, it's obviously going to be, it's always an exciting time. Always, you know, a time to kind of just dissect. You got the player comparisons, you know, breaking down players' ability, looking at who, you know, whose player, kind of which player looks like this player is going to play like this player, kind of speculating, you know, analyzing and foreseeing what that player may do in the big leagues, obviously in the league, right? Is he going to be a role player? Does he have star potential, superstar potential, right? You got all of that, you know, solid, great potential in terms of just a role player, team player, right? You got a lot of these things at hand. And obviously, right, now's the time to kind of break down and go through all of that. You know, I was going to do a draft video, and, you know, a lot of y'all been waiting for it and been telling me, yo, you're going to do a breakdown and all that type of stuff. And, you know, basically who's the best available in the draft. What do you think in my thoughts? And now's the time. You already know. Basically, we're going to start with first, you know, the Raptors have the 4th pick. So, you know, obviously I could talk about the you know, the player who is going to be the best player in the draft and all that type of stuff. Honestly, is not really, I don't even really need to get into all of that because, again, the main thing about this right now is about who should the Raptors pick with the number 4th pick, right? Who should they pick? Should they trade? I don't think. And this is we're gonna obviously, you know, you could talk about should they trade, should they not, and all this type of stuff. That's not a priority to talk about right now. We're talking about it, assuming they keep their pick. I'm assuming Masai's like, you know what, this is who we going for. You know, obviously there's, you know, rumors with they obviously might not get back Lowry and this, that, and the third, right? But assuming we are actually trying to keep this pick, you know, which guy should we get? The number 4 pick in the draft is something not to play with, right? That's actually like being a top 4, especially in this draft where you got a lot of, there's different directions you can go, right? And we're going to talk about that and get into, you know, obviously the context, because I give it that context. Let's go straight right into it, boy. So, again, we're going to start with it right out the gate. We're going to start with, you know, who I think the Raptors should pick. And there's a couple of names that get thrown in there because, again, my assessment, my analysis isn't based off of just stats. It's not based off of just the mock draft, you know, obviously the big board and the mock draft that they present, right? It's not just off of that. Obviously, you apply some of it, and those are bonuses. Those are kind of things you pay attention to and you look at. But for the most part, it's about looking at the ability, the eye tests, just breaking down their strengths, their weaknesses. And obviously, you know, guys have weaknesses and stuff like that. But the strength you can kind of dictate and kind of see, can it translate, especially on this specific team when it comes to the Raptors, right? We know the Raptors, obviously, you got OG. They probably will try and re-sign Trent. You know what I'm saying? Pascal, there's rumors of him being traded. We don't even know what kind of roster the Raptors will have, you know, down the line. But at the end of the day, you already do have, you kind of have like a scale. You kind of have something at hand that you know is what their weakness is. You kind of have it. You have it at hand. You have clearly, based off what the season has been, you know, has basically dealt the Raptors, you know what their strengths and what their weaknesses have been. Again, the Raptors with their whole lineup, even with Pascal, OG, Van Vliet, and Lowry as their main top 4 guys, you know, in terms of scoring, in terms of point production, those are their top 4 guys. And at the end of the day, they were still able to go to the 2nd round and force a Game 7. And why? Because at the end of the day, they had solid bigs in terms of Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka protecting the paint, being just dominant and being, you know, crucial bigs. And then from there, you had your core, right? In terms of the Van Vliet, the OGs, the Pascals, the Lowrys, and, you know, this, that, and the third, the Norman Powells, right? You had your 5 core in terms of that. and then your bigs. And that was already a solid rotation and was already enough of a blueprint to give you, you know, a top seed in the East without when Kawhi just left. Now, this season, no big. You have only Aaron Baines at the big. You know, Aaron Baines, Boucher, and Alex Len were basically their bigs that they were kind of going with for majority of the year. And what happens? You're in a hole with Pascal dropping down his level of play. But at the end of the day, the lack of bigs is definitely what, you know, attributed to a lot of these things going on. And again, it is in hindsight great that they went through that, because obviously in the year it's not, but in the hindsight it is, because what happens? You get the 4th pick out of it. So let's go into, you know, obviously the context of, you know, just breaking down, assessing who is who and what is what. So when you look at it from, it's tough. It's tough. I'm going to give names that I think the Raptors should pick, and I'm going to kind of narrow it down to who I think they should pick. I'm going to try my best. This is just on the fly. I've done my due diligence of looking at the footages, looking at who is who, you know, in a full depth, you know, kind of like just looking at their strengths, looking at the shiftiness, the craftiness, the ability, rebound and block, all of that, this, that, and the third, right? Looking at and paying attention to all of that. And it's hard to kind of like, remember, it's a vacuum. You always get it down the line where this draft pick doesn't pan out, or you could have drafted that guy and you didn't draft that guy. It's always going to be like that. You can never escape that, right? But you want to do the best job that you can. You want to be able to catch the guy, especially if you had him at hand and had an opportunity to pick him. You always want to pick the best guy that, you know, it's like down the line, you're like, okay, we didn't suss the runs. We didn't make a mistake. And that's what it normally comes down to, honestly, for drafts. It comes down to this crossroads, this dilemma of, do you pick the best available versus do you pick the best, you know, at the position, or the best for your need at that time, right? Given your roster, given your glaring weakness, fill that void, fill that glaring weakness, that glaring hole, and then you move from there. And this is where it gets tricky. This is a blurry line, a fine line that is hard to get it right, because sometimes you could pick the best available, and the best available isn't going to pan out because there's no room for him to grow, because you have redundant positions, redundant type of players, redundant type of play styles, right? And eventually you're going to have to trade one, and whatever the case is, as opposed to, you know, and again, even in that spectrum and that perspective, the fact that you were able to trade that guy and get something else out of it, you know, or a better, fully ready caliber player now for what's at hand, like, it's tough, right? It's a, you know, it's a seesaw type of battle in terms of what's right, what's wrong. Then obviously you have taken, you know, best fit at that position, where it's like, okay, maybe we do this because, you know, we're missing this piece. There's no point of picking a piece that we already have. We're missing this piece. Let's use it, kind of like using a draft like a free agency type of thing, right? As opposed to just picking the best guy available. So, you know, it depends the state of the culture of the organization at that time. Are they a playoff bound team? Are they a team that is trying to get to the next stages of the hump? Are you going to really draft the best available, or are you going to draft the best need at hand, right? Or like, it's a tough battle, man. And unfortunately, you have, you know, best case scenarios where, you know, you draft, I don't know, if I have to think off the top of my head, the best case scenario where you just drafted kind of like what was need. Perfect example was, you know, what they needed in terms of Portland. Remember when they had, and this is Portland's for both of them, when they had LaMarcus and they had all those guys, they didn't really have a point guard. So the best available and the point guard they needed and the position that they needed happened to be Dame, and it was a perfect fit. So sometimes you're going to have what you need and the best available, you know, kind of go hand in hand, right? And that's what Portland was able to do with the Damian Lillard pick. But then when you go down the line and you look back, what was it, 2007 draft, you see they choose the best available, or sorry, the position that they need, and didn't choose the best available. And that's when they chose Greg Oden, and then KD goes number 2. And look, it's KD. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that they're probably regretting and kicking themselves every single day. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a fine line, and sometimes you could get it right, sometimes you get it wrong, and you have to have a special read and react meter to kind of know when to do it. And that's kind of the dilemma that's going to be at hand for the Raptors right now. It comes full circle because, again, when it comes to the Raptors, their glaring need that the Raptors need is obviously the big man. You know, let's assume Pascal's still there. Van Fleet is still there. Even if you don't have Lowry still there, right? The top, you have OG. Maybe they re-sign Trent. Whatever they have in general in terms of just their core and what they have on their roster right now at hand, the most glaring thing that they would need would be maybe a PG type shooting guard. Because again, Van Vliet can run the PG, right? But you know, that's something that maybe because Lowry leaving, maybe that replaceable of a star-studded PG you could maybe get. So it's either you go with the PG type of, or you know, PG scorer, wing creator type of guy, right? Or you go with the big that's a glaring hole. So those are the two top priorities if you look at the Raptors roster that could be upgraded and that could be, you know, filled in terms of the center. Obviously, you want a big man. And then again, a wing creator or a PG. Those three type of, you know, guys are the type of, you know, biggest holes that they need to fill, right? And when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, let's go into the draft now, to the prospects. Who do you really pick now? Which way do you really, you know, align with in terms of are you on the fence? You know, which side do you choose? Which, you know, way do you go? Which direction do you go? And that direction that you go actually determines the direction of the organization that they're going to go as well too, right? So a lot of, like, everything is crucial at this point, especially for the Raptors, man. Especially for the Raptors. I don't know if they, and the thing is, who they draft, maybe they're drafting contingent on this guy's going to be traded. So now, you know, get the wing creator because Pascal's gone, whatever the case is. Or maybe, you know, like you never know how they're going to go. But enough of that, you know, let's go into actually breaking it down and seeing who's best available and which one and which is the most IQ decision to make and just what I think about some of these players, right? So we're not going to go down the whole draft. Obviously, we're going to break down and kind of talk about maybe like the top 9, 7, you know, 5-ish maybe type of, you know, that we'll talk about. And the, you know, the, what's the word? My goodness. The most popular names. The most popular names that are coming up in terms of who the Raptors should pick. I'm seeing like I'm seeing a bowl of like 5, 6, 7 names that people are throwing around out there, right? That they would want the Raptors to pick with the number 4th pick. So remember that. Then also to remember the order. You got Detroit is number 1, right? Then you got Houston number 2. Then you got Cleveland number 3. And then you got the Raptors number 4, right? So that also pay attention to that because that matters and dictates my decision in terms of who I think the Raptors should pick. This is just, you know, I don't want to make it too long, but, you know, it is what it is. So just bear with me and it will come full circle. So basically, obviously, we already know Cade Cunningham. They're saying he's probably the first, you know, the number 1 pick. He's a 6'8". They say he's a PG. He's been running a PG type of. That's disgusting. 6'8" PG, like that's a Magic type, Ben Simmons type, but he's not limited like them. He's a shot creator. He's a, you know, elite bucket getter. Could shoot. You know, he doesn't really have too much weakness in terms of scoring the ball as a 3-level scorer. He does maybe just explosion, but I mean, in this open court era, like look at Luka. Like there's guys. This is why I don't look at Trae Young. Like actually, Trae Young has quickness, the first step, and he has, you know, he has sneaky quickness. He's actually very quick, you know. But when you look at Luka and you look at some of these guys, you don't need to be the quickest anymore. Like all of that is done. The skill, when you have skill, you have the 5 that can maybe shoot, the 4 that could definitely shoot. If anything, you have small forwards playing as the 4, right? Then you have, you know what I mean, the center who's basically like sometimes could be a power forward playing as a center or as a center, but he could space the floor. You know what I mean? You have more spacing. You have shooters around you. You know what I mean? You could probe, slow, play off of angles. Like you have more room and ground to cover in terms of getting to the cup, and you don't have to be as explosive. That doesn't matter anymore. The more skill you have at hand, the easier it is actually to blow by and actually to get to the rim. Like you see with Luka, his step back is potent. His, you know, all of these things is potent. So now he could literally just kill mano a mano and get to the rim because you're worried about the step back. You go on it. Same with James Harden. Through the legs, through the legs, through the legs. Worry about the step back. He could blow by you at any time. It's just mind games, playing with angles, having skill, and being a threat in certain areas already is going to open up a lot of things. So even like Steph Curry could get to the rim a lot of the times too because of the potency of his shot. You're worried about his shot. So, you know, quickness is not necessarily the end-all be-all anymore. It's important, but it's not the end-all be-all anymore. So, you know, Cade Cunningham should be the #1 pick. No, obviously, I don't think I'll be surprised if Detroit doesn't pick him at #1. They're saying they might want Jalen Green. Maybe they go for him. But I see Cade Cunningham going at #1. So I'm not even going to put Cade Cunningham in the mix for the Raptors, right? I'm just going down the line to see who's probably going to be available based off IQ, who's going to be picked. So now I can make a decision on who the Raptors should actually get. Remember, it's not just saying names out there. It's actually thinking and kind of foreseeing who would be available at that time. So now when you look at the #2 pick in terms of Houston, I can see them. Remember, they already have a Christian Wood, so they're not going to choose a big, right? People, you know, are thinking they might choose like they're not going to choose Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley, they're definitely not going to choose. I like Evan Mobley, his game. You know, he's actually like a Christian Wood, basically. He's like a Christian Wood, does a 1-2, like he sometimes does shot creating, has more length at 7 foot. Christian Wood is probably around 6'10". You know what I'm saying? He's still wiry as well, too. Block shots, probably more potent than Christian Wood. Like he's like a Gobert type of rim protecting center with more mobility to guard perimeter a little bit more, and as well as way better offense, right? You see him literally ball handle. Like, it's actually crazy. He ball handles. It's like he's literally like a Christian Wood, but I would say he actually probably might have a more shot creating bag in terms of escapes and stuff like that. Christian Wood is the better shooter from 3, but the more like Evan Mobley has vision. He gets elite passes, right? You know, let's see his stats even. Obviously it's not about the stats, but you know, let's kind of just take it in just to give context, right? He only averages 9 rebounds and averages around 2 assists, but averages 3 blocks, right? That's what he averaged, 58% from the field, only 30% from 3. I expect that to increase because, again, the college game is different in terms of just, you see how they shrink the floor. You see how they're just in zone. You see how there's no defensive 3 in the key. Like, there's so many things that kind of make it harder and make it more clogged and make it, you know, more of a difficulty in terms of one-on-one, in terms of team play, right? And that's why you see a lot of the times guys could average 9 points in college and then they go to the NBA and they're a 20-point per game scorer out the gate, right? So I don't look at the numbers too much because sometimes it doesn't translate, but it gives you a gauge. It gives you kind of like a ballpark, you know, and something to kind of add or attach to the eye test, right? And that's how I do for even NBA players. That's what I normally do. But when you look at Evan Mobley, like, man, like I said, the rim protection, he has shot creating ability here and there, and he actually, like, you see him use it at times, right? You can see him, he could shoot. It's not potent yet, but he's only going to get better with the shot. But the fact that he's shooting and confident shooting, you see him do that. You see him do the mid-range. You see him blow by. You see him escape dribble. Like, you see him do all of that post up. Like, you see him literally apply a whole bag in terms of a big. It's like he's a small forward playing like a big, or a power forward playing like a big, but you know what I mean? He's tough. He's tough. And that's kind of like a favorite for the Raptors in terms of needing a big, right? But we'll go into that fully more. But, you know, I don't see Houston drafting him, obviously. You know, Christian Wood, rightfully so. If he wasn't injured, probably might have an all-star season, and he was on pace for that, right? Why would they ever get a next big? And, you know, it's just going to complicate things. Maybe get Evan Mobley, but Evan Mobley's not a bench type of big. Like, he's not one of them, right? So I don't see them going for him. I could see Houston getting like a dynamic, explosive duo and going for Jalen Green. I could see them going for him for sure, you know, and then him and KPJ play together. Remember, him and KPJ also went at it a little bit in the bubble. And it's funny how, you know, Jalen Green is right there now, maybe going to be on his team. You already know Houston has KPJ, and he's the future of that team. Left-handed, explosive, elite scorer. And Jalen Green is similar to that. Obviously, they score differently, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's very similar, but in terms of just being a three-level explosive scorer, That's what their games are. Obviously, I think KPJ, Kevin Porter Jr. has more wiggle, more craftiness, more James Harden-like 2.0 to his game in terms of just athleticism, being bigger, you know what I mean, and doing more arsenal, more moves, dribble pull-ups coming off screens. Like KPJ has more of that bag, you know what I mean, and Jalen Green has that bag as well too, but, you know, it's not the same type of fluidity that KPJ has, but Jalen Green has fluidity too. So it's not like he's a scrub, but you know what I mean, he's elite. He's a great wing creator, 6'5", 6'6". He's shorter. He's more like, the DeRozan explosiveness, KPJ type of explosiveness, but can shot create, has dribble pull up, actually has shot the three better than a lot of people thought. You get what I'm saying? When you look at it, let's look at his, G League stats that he had, obviously in the bubble, just to kind of give clarification and give, an addition or, some type of idea of their game, right? He shot 46% from the field and 37% from three, which is pretty solid. He's at basically 40, 40, 47, 37. That's to start, and 83% from the free throw line. Average 18 points, had 4 rebounds, 3 assists. So when you look at it, like, you could see that he still was pretty efficient. 46 is not the greatest efficiency, but it's above average. 45 is like decent. 46, that's pretty solid, especially when a man is taking tough shots like that and shot creating shots. 37% from three on tough shots like that. Shot creating elite, type of deep range, twinkle toe step back shots, you know what I mean? Like escape dribble threes. Like that's pretty solid, especially for someone, that is an athletic freak. When you look at it from that perspective, man, I could see Houston picking Jalen Green. Now, they might not. So this is where it gets tricky in terms of what the Raptors should get. Jalen Green might be available. Evan Mobley might be available. Who else? Those are the, obviously Jalen Suggs might be available, but he could get drafted earlier. Like this, we don't know how they're going to play. So I'm not even going to get into that. I would assume Jalen Green will probably go to the Houston. And then, Cleveland has a big man already in Jared Allen. They made him a qualifying offer, so he's a restricted free agent. So they have the rights to him. So I'm pretty sure they're going to match whatever offer he tries to get or just outright give him an offer out the gate. But they have a big already. So that's 2 teams that have bigs already that I'll be surprised if they choose Evan Mobley. So if I had to guess, I think Evan Mobley would be available at number 4. I think maybe at number 3, they might even choose a Jalen Suggs, a Scotty Barnes, a Jonathan Kuminga type of, I don't know, you know what I mean? They may choose one of those, or like, we don't know how it's going to play out. And that's what you always wait for in the draft. After 1, it's kind of, how is it going to play out? What does 2 go get? What is, you know what I mean? It's kind of, you can't really dictate how it's going to go. So again, this is just, I don't want to get into that because that's just semantics at this point. The point is, who, if available, remember this, the question is if available, who do the Raptors pick? Who do the Raptors pick? Now, ideally, right, just going off of IQ, the Raptors go for an Evan Mobley because you need a big, right? You need a big that's been a glaring hole. But then again, the question is, do you go for the best player for what you need, or do you go for the best available? If I'm going for the best available, honestly, like, if Jalen Green's available, you would want to obviously get him, but I don't think he's going to be available at 4. You go for it's either between Evan Mobley, Jalen Suggs. Those are the top 2 I think is going to be between. I'm hearing people say get a Scotty Barnes. Honestly, I wouldn't prefer him because, again, if you have Pascal there, then you 2 guys that don't really shoot. Like, I want to go with the person who has the lowest amount of weaknesses, right? I don't want to go with the limited type of players because, again, you've seen that with Ben Simmons. It's like you have to build perfectly around them. You want to get guys who you can plug and play. And because they're unlimited skill set, if they have to be an off-ball scorer, they could be it. If they have to be a ball handler scorer, they could be it. If they have to be a spot up at times, they could be it. If they want to get pin downs, they could be that. They could plug and play however. And that's what you want to get. Versatility is always key when it comes to drafting, right? So when you look at it from that perspective, obviously, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a tell y'all something. These are the guys that I like. These are the top 4 guys that I like, all right, for the Raptors. Jalen Green, I don't think is available, but I'll go top 5. You got Jalen Green, you got Evan Mobley, you got Jalen Suggs. I also like Davion Mitchell. I like him a lot, man. I like him a lot. And I like James Bouknight. I do like him a lot. Now, I know there's people saying Jonathan Kuminga. I do like him as well, too. But there's limitations there. And to me, it's just the fit. The fit. When you have OG, him, even OG and even Scotty Barnes are even like defenders similar. You know what I mean? Obviously, OG doesn't ball handle like that. But, you know what I mean? It's the way they kind of look and play is more so, you know what I mean? I'm not even Scotty Barnes. I'm not really going for. And it's not no knock against him. It's just for the Raptors, how their play, how their roster is. Again, I'm adding best available and roster, right? It's a fine line. When you look at it with Davion Mitchell, I like Davion Mitchell's game, explosive. I think he's an explosive scorer. Obviously, they'll write in the draft kind of reviews. He's not an explosive scorer. The man shot, 50% from the field and 44 from 3. You know what I'm saying? And these are on tough threes. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's already to 50-40. He has to just get his free throw up. Is at 70%, 69. You got to get that to like 80s. You know what I mean? But he'll improve in that. At the end of the day, he's a scorer. He's a shooter. He's literally like a Donovan Mitchell, but better defense, right? He's 6'2", but great defense. This man's defense is elite. Pads, right? Great defense. And then I think he has better vision than Donovan Mitchell. But Donovan Mitchell is probably more of the explosive scorer. You know what I'm saying? But he's not that far off from He's a better shot creator from 3, even though Donovan Mitchell is elite. And, you know, he's a 3-level scorer. But this guy, Davion Mitchell, is like, the threes he's pulling, you know what I mean? It's literally, they have the similar play style. Like, that's why he wore number 45. It's literally a similar play style. But, again, you have Van Fleet. Do you really want a 6'2", and a 5'11", you know, type of guard? Again, do you want that dynamic? Again, I probably would see that the Raptors wouldn't go for a Davion Mitchell. I wouldn't probably advise that based on the roster. And if you would want to go for a PG, the PG that you probably would want to get just to fit how the Raptors play, the Raptors type of, you want an IQ, high IQ type of guy, makes everybody else better, elite vision. You go with the Jalen Suggs because his vision is hella elite, man. Like those dimes, bruh. He has like Lonzo Ball, you know, LeBron, like he had Rondo type of, the way he, like, this is when you know someone has elite vision. It's not just seeing the play before it happens and putting guys in stride and stuff like that. It's when he passes those in split second, like he doesn't see it. Like he's not just looking at it, staring at it. He'll like just get the ball, glance up, ding, and just dime, you know, do a step back, stop, feed, and you'll see the dimes and it's perfectly placed into the man's pocket. Like it's not like man's doing these type of catches then has to go shoot. This type of catch, like it's literally in pocket, in stride. Even a guy will be sealing, catch it, turn. Timmy will seal, catch it, turn, go right away. Like the dimes are perfectly, like they're perfectly placed. Like you couldn't ask for any pass. Like I'm looking, I'm like, yo, that's elite vision. Like there's levels to vision. Sorry, there's vision and passing, obviously. There's levels to passing. Like that passing, his passing, Jalen Suggs probably is like, you know, him and obviously Sharif too. That's probably the best passers in the draft, right? But Suggs' vision, like his assist is only, 4.5 assists? Don't get it twisted. His vision is way better than that 4.5 assists, right? And he's a bigger guard, elite defense, but he plays shooting guard. But I would make him point guard, to be honest. I'll treat him like Westbrook, 6'4", make him point guard. I'm not making him no shooting guard. You know what I'm saying? I'll actually have Van Vliet play off the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like I would make, you know, he's a shooting guard, but, you know, he could play both combo. He could play combo. You know what I'm saying? He's good, great. He has great defense too, right? In lanes, you see him. You just he's all around elite. He really is. He has to add more mid range to his game, but it's zones and stuff like that. How much mid range could you really get in, you know, in college, right? So, you know, I feel like he's gonna be a stud in the NBA, and not only that, he has IQ, awareness, and a winning mentality. He does the little things. He has that chip that, like, you know, when someone, you could just see they rise their level of play and winning moments in big pressure games. He's one of them, right? You could see that and you could feel that, especially from the tournament, right? So when you look at it from that perspective, make big shots, big plays, big blocks, like blocking centers, like, come on now. He's the to me, like, I'm leaning towards him more than the Evan Mobley because I'm always caught in a dilemma, and it's always best available, or do you go for the guy, you know, the what you need? And I'm like, can you get another big in the draft and free agency? It's hard getting a point guard. It's hard getting an elite point guard. It's hard getting, you know, it's hard getting an elite big too. But you could probably, like, if you have a decent big, you could get away with it. You just have to get the right one that would want to come. But it's like, it's Toronto too. Which ones actually come? So it's like, you have an opportunity to get an elite big. Do you go for it, right? And that's kind of like, it's tough. This is not going to be an easy decision. I know y'all, a lot of you came to this video think it's just going to get very, you know, you're going to get a lot of clarity. You know what I mean? I'm kind of talking this out on the fly because I'm torn, man. I'm torn between Evan Mobley, Jalen Suggs, and to be honest, I'm also torn between Book Knight. Book Knight, that shot creating ability, he's tough. He's tough. Don't let percentages, don't let all that shit fool you. He's tough. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm seeing, like, the dribble pull-ups. Like, I'm like, dog, if you want a wing score, that's the one. I don't think they're going to get Jalen Green. Him and Jalen Green are very similar. But, you know, more midi bag you see from Book Knight. But they're both explosive, 6'5", 6'6", elite athleticism. Like, you have athleticism. You have, like, when you get, like, that T-Mac type of athleticism, not length because they're not 6'9", but that explosive, length, wiry, you know, lanky guy, but it can also shot create. Like, that type of combo at a young age is dangerous. Dangerous. It's a Levine type. That's perfect example, a Levine type. That's what you get from the Book Knights and the Jalen Green. You feel that Levine type of game. That's what you get, and that's elite bucket getting with athleticism. Is literally can get to that unguardable range. It's just how do you groom it? How do you let them be them, right? And I think Book Knight and Jalen Green have that Levine type of prototype. Wiry, lanky, 6'7", 6'5", 6'6", athletic, punch on you, explosive, but shot creating as well too. Midi, 3. You know what I'm saying? 3-level scorer. That type of game, that type of, you know what I mean? Body type. That's what they have. And if you can't get Jalen Green, Book Knight is the next version of it. You know what I'm saying? Book Knight, actually, to me, he's the best scorer in this draft with what it looks like. Pure scorer. Like, that guy, I'm watching, I'm like, yo, that bucket getting it. He's nice, man. He's nice. So, to me, I think it's between Book Knight, Suggs, and Mobley. I know people say Barnes, people say Kuminga, and they have a lot of different reasons for that. To be honest, I think those 3 are the ones. I think those 3 are the ones. I don't think they're going to be able to get Jalen Green. But if you add Jalen Green into it, those 4 are the ones. And if I have to go list priority, I have to make a decision now. It's tough, man. Again, this video is getting too long and I'm just torn. I'm getting, you know what I mean? It's not as polished as I want it to be because I'm just torn, man. I'm torn, man. Like, to be honest, I'm not mad. Either one of those 4, I'm not mad. But it has to be one of those 4. It has to be. Like, if Masai doesn't pick one of those 4, if Masai is picking a Scotty Barnes, even a Kuminga, like, I don't want limited guys. And I know you go by potential. I don't want limited guys, man, because, again, you have Pascal's or you already have a limited guy. You don't want to double back on that. You want a guy who's just going to ignite that his unlimited, you know, ability, you know, enables and kind of like, it doesn't clash with other guys. When you have a Kuminga, I think it could clash like Kuminga and a Pascal. I think they could clash. You say, like, I don't know how much you could trade Pascal. Could you know what I mean? Like, Scotty Barnes, Pascal, like Kuminga, those 3, they could clash. I don't like it. I don't like the fit. Jalen Green, unlimited ability. Evan Mobley, a big man space, like, that's not going to clash, right? Jalen Suggs, you already know, not going to clash. Like I said, Book Knight, that's not going to clash. Davion Mitchell, I just don't think with the Van Vliet small, you want to double back on that, right? But I like him as well, too. But, again, those are my top 4. If I have to rank them, Jalen Green and Book Knight, to me, they're like, I think they're one and the same. Jalen Green is nice, though. Book Knight is nice, though. But I think they're one and the same. You can go either way. Obviously, the mock draft has Jalen Green better than Book. But, you know what I'm saying? I think you could go one and the same. I think Book actually has a more natural shot creating just mind. Like he's doing more pull-ups and he's more of a 3-level naturally. You know, you can see Jalen Green more so paint. You know, he explosive because he's so explosive. He just gets to the cup and shot creating threes, and he doesn't apply to mid-range as much. But he'll enable that. He's gonna learn to pick and roll. But Book Knight kills and pick. Like he's more so polished already, right? So I think right now he's probably, to me, just eye test wise, scoring wise, you know what they're good at. I think he's better right now, even though Jalen Green has shoots better, right? I think just the whole compilation of that creating ability, Book Knight, to be honest, I think, you know, he has that. But again, I'm just gonna rank them, man. And I know, you know, it's like pulling teeth. I'm gonna rank them. I'm gonna go just for what the Raptors need, especially IQ wise. I'm gonna go Suggs. I think Suggs is the best available for the Raptors. Just for the Raptors. I think Jalen Suggs is the best available. The reason why I say that is because what's been success for the Raptors is you look at the Lowry, you look at even Van Vliet stepping up. You look at those type of guys, obviously Kawhi too. Those three guys, their mind, especially with Lowry and Kawhi, has operated on a higher level than the rest of the team, right? Van Vliet as well too, which means doing the little things, right decisions, time clock and score, IQ, making the right passes, like doing those intangible things is very crucial for Raptors because you have a lot of guys who be using no IQ. So you have to, you know, Pascal be having no IQ at times. Sometimes OG don't be. Like, you have to have a guy who's going to settle the ground. You can't just explosive score. Yes, you have that, but are they able to calm everything down? Are they able to, that balance, that Lowry factor is very crucial. So when you have a guy that could show, maybe he could, you know, get into a shot creating type of bag, and I think Suggs has that shot creating type of bag. But if I'm just looking for what the Raptors need, best available and, you know, need, sometimes they go hand in hand. And I think the best available for the need is Suggs. I think you go Suggs. If not, I think you go Suggs, Mobley, Green. Sorry, Suggs, Mobley, Green, Book Knight. I think that's the order you go. I think that's the order you go, to be honest. I think you go Suggs, Mobley, Green, Book Knight. Because, again, getting a big is very, very hard. And a big can change a whole lot. Rim protect, like, it changes a whole lot. But Suggs, man, that, especially with Lowry leaving, I think Lowry's leaving. You get Suggs, like, that's transition. You help Pascal dime. Like, Pascal will average 25 in his slate with Suggs. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, bro, I'm telling you, man. Like, I like his game, man. He's tough, man. He's tough. So that's my order, man. Honestly, I think the Raptors' their fourth pick, I think who they should go with if available. This is all contingent on being available. I think they should go with Jalen Suggs just because of what I think in free agency. I think somehow you could get a big. Somehow you can get a big. Even later down the round, you can a solid big member. You were great with Ibaka and Gasol. You could get a big like that. You can get a big like that. You just have to find, you have to search. But you can get a big like that. You don't need a superstar type of big, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, then you look at the prototypes of, you know, an all-star type of big, like a Ayton and a Mobley. You know, you don't need, you could get that, you could want that, but you don't need that. But that Suggs type of, like, with Lowry leaving, that's going to be very crucial. I think that's more of a need, even though the big looks like more of a need. But we're talking about, if we're talking about superstar realm, if that's what we're talking about, superstar realm, all-star realm. The big you just need a solid big. You need a solid big before anything else. But do you really need a superstar type of big? You don't, because they won without that. You don't really need that. You know what I'm saying? But you need an all-star. You need an all-star type of perimeter player, especially in this NBA. Like, it's very crucial. And we know you have Malachi Flynn too, but you know what I mean? I think he will be an elite creator, maybe off the bench. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what he will be. Like, if you have, imagine you have Suggs and Van Vliet together, and then, you know, come off the bench, you have Malachi. That's beautiful. That's beautiful to me. That's beautiful to me. You know what I'm saying? Because again, Malachi and Van Vliet are miniature, so you don't want them playing together. Maybe Van Vliet comes out first, and Suggs and and Malachi's playing together. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? So it's like, honestly, like, and Malachi's nice. You already know. So I think Suggs is the one you go for, especially seeing him in the tournament, seeing him rise the level of play. Like, he has the intangibles. He really does. And then Mobley, you go for second. And then you go for either Jalen Green or Book Knight, third, fourth. And I think that's the order you go with. And so, again, the priority playstyle-wise would be an all-around creator, bucket getter, PG, defender, vision, playmaker. Like, you get that from Suggs. Does it all, basically. You know what I'm saying? And I think his shot creating bag, he actually brought it back a bit. He didn't even get to it fully. But it's there. Like, he's nice, man. That boy nice. He's nice. And then, you go for that. Then second, the big man, the all-world, all-around big man. Then third, you go for the wing bucket getter. That's the priority I think you go for. And that's what I think that the Raptors should do. I'm sorry that, I extended it as long. To be honest, I was in indecision. I was in quicksand. My goodness, I couldn't make a decision like this, man. Like, bruh, it's tough, man. It's tough deciding. And the reason why I'm going with the Suggs before the Mobley is because, again, it's just I would bite myself, kill myself, punch myself if you get a Greg Oden, KD type of situation again. Now, obviously, I don't think guys will be injured like that. And I'm not saying this about Mobley or any of these players. I'm just saying going forward, the fit when there's a best available, and that best available, he's out of here. He's like superstar. You know what I mean? Like, he's them ones. That's always the fear. That's always the fear. And then sometimes you go for the best available, and it's like the guy that you had at the position that looked like just a position need actually is out of here. He's the superstar. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes either way, and it's like you can't really foresee the future, but you have to use just your due diligence, just taking everything to account, taking everything to context, and make the best decision at hand. And when I look at the players and I look at the comparison, if there was no Jalen Suggs, you guarantee go for Mobley. And then a Book Knight or Green next. But when you have a player like Suggs, and I'm looking at, honestly, I think Suggs might get picked by, maybe if they're trying to trade John Wall. I don't think Houston would pick him, but maybe Cleveland picks him and they're getting rid of Sexton. That's what they might look like. So he might go to 3. And if he goes to 3, then you have to get Mobley, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, he might go to 3. So it depends too how the order plays out. But if I just priority wise for the Raptors, I think that's their order: Suggs, Mobley, Jalen Green, or Book Knight. And you call it a day. That's your fourth pick. You call it a day. It has to be that. Yo, it better be one of those 4. It better be one of those 4. If you get me a Scotty Barnes or you get me a Kuminga, like, I'm not mad that, like, I'm not going to ever downplay a player or nothing like that. But I'm telling you, with Pascal there, like, dog, don't do it. Please. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Don't do it, man. We all go through it, man. Don't do it. Those are the 2 I don't want to see play with. I don't want to see that with Pascal. I'm telling you from now. It's not about the players. The player, like, all these players are nice, especially in the top 5, top 6, 7. Like, it's not about the players. It's about what you have on your team. Like, it's not going to work. And what are you going to get back for Pascal, really? And then those guys are going to be your star? No. And it's not a knock against Kuminga. It's not a knock against, Scotty Barnes. It's not a knock against them. Pascal, you have to be smart. Let Pascal be the one limited guy. Let him be the Ben Simmons. Let him be that one limited guy. And he's not even like a Ben Simmons. But, let him be that one limited guy, transition free. Let him, be that guy. Don't continuously bring unlimited guys. And no, don't do it. I'm telling you. Suggs, Mobley, Green, or Book Knight. That's it. Call it a day. Anyways, I'm sorry for making this video way longer than it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, like, I was caught, in a tough one. It was I was caught in a rock and a hard place, like they say. It was a tough one making that decision. I honestly, I just made it at the fly right there. Like, I did not have a decision at hand, and I knew I was gonna, as I talked through it, get clarity. You know what I mean? But I watching those 4 guys. Those are the guys that I was attracted to in terms of just eye test wise. Mitchell as well is in that ballpark as well too. But those 4 guys, dog, watching their highlights, I'm like, God damn. Especially Suggs, I was like, man, I already know who Suggs is, but seeing that vision again, man, like. And, you know, obviously I would love the Raptors to have a wing creator. Like, I would love them to have a Book night. I would love, you know what I mean? But I know, especially for the Raptors, how their play style, how their offense, what translates to wins more so is going to be the Mobley at the center and the Suggs at the PG. Those 2 will translate the most to a winning culture. Just how that's how the Raptors move. Just going off the blueprint, right? Again, the wing creator is like to get you over. But just Raptors aren't even in a place to get over. They need a new base, right? They need a new base, a new foundation. So you have to recreate that new foundation. You get a better version of Lowry. That's what Suggs is. He's a better version of Lowry. Defensively, taller, athletically, shot creating wise, vision wise. Like, he's the better version, right? He's literally, you know, the better version of Lowry. He's the superstar or all-star version of Lowry. That's what he is. Right? So when you look at it, I mean, like, I think that's what you go for. I think that's what you go for. I think, you know what I mean? Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. You know, I appreciate y'all again. It's True Talks, because True Talks, you know, draft at 8. This is a big moment for the Raptors, because it's going to dictate what direction you go. It's going to dictate, especially in free agency, what direction you go. Are you big? Are you heavy on the big? You know, are you heavy centric on big? You know, are you heavy on that, getting the big? Or are you heavy on, you know what I'm saying, getting the PG or a wing creator now? Because now you got the big. Like, what you pick up in this draft is going to dictate your free agency. Is going to dictate a lot of stuff. So, you know what I mean? That's obviously what we looking forward to. And, you know, I appreciate y'all. Let me know what you think in the comment section, man. Because this one is like, I want to see y'all perspective. I want to see y'all what y'all think. I want to see what way y'all think, you know, the Raptors should go in directions. Is my top 4 a great top 4? Is my order properly? Do y'all agree? Do you disagree? Like, let me know. And, you know, we'll chop it up in the comment section. You already know that's how I does it. I give it up for the public. You know what I'm saying? And I know y'all love it. I ain't above it. You feel me? Bruh. Anyways, you know, it is what it is. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, you know, it's True Talks, because True Talks. Share, like, and subscribe. We out here. There's no doubt here. There's no drought here. You feel me? I appreciate y'all, man. You already know. Bruh, this is what elite looks like. The NBA draft, man. Like, and there's a lot of sleeper guys who are elite too, but we're not going to get into all of that. But, like, dog, that 4, those 4, man, you already know. That's the Rushmore for Raptors, who they got to pick, man. That's who they got to pick. One of those 4, man. If I see anybody but one of those 4, I'm gonna go on a rant, man. I'm gonna be upset for real, because that's what you got to go for, man. That's what you got to go for. So you already know. I appreciate y'all, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. You already know, man. Let me know what y'all think. I appreciate y'all. And I'm out, man.